Kaieteur Radio, keeping you informed.
Demerara and Essequibo 99.1 FM.
Berbice 99.5 FM. Kaieteur Radio.
12 hours 9 in Guyana, right across the Eastern Caribbean. Good afternoon. Welcome to your Tuesday, June 6th main newscast. My name is Josh Van Slykeman. Let's get to the news in details. President Ali on Monday praised the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia for its swift approval of a $150 million loan that will be channeled to develop the local housing and infrastructure sector. During a simple ceremony hosted at the office of the President, Finance Minister Dr. Ashni Singh signed the two loan agreements on behalf of Guyana, while the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia was represented by the Chief Executive Officer of the Saudi Fund for Development, His Excellency Sultan Al Marshad. A team from Saudi is in Guyana on a 3-day visit for official business and has been invited by the President to take advantage of the private sector opportunities available, not only in the oil and gas sector, but in other industries as well. While delivering his remarks at the event, the head of state commended the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia for the ease of doing business, explaining that the pace of loan approval was second to none. And in other news, while the People's Progressive Party Civic and the Partnership for National Unity are campaigning for next week's local government elections, Kaieteur News' publisher and businessman Glenn Lal is urging Guyanese to boycott the polls until the politicians correctly lopsided ExxonMobil Guyana contract. In 2016, Guyana signed on to a production sharing agreement with the oil major, which has been heavily criticized for being lopsided and benefiting the oil company more than the country. Recently, Kaieteur News reported that Exxon and its partners made a handsome profit from the Stabroek block last year, totaling 1.2 trillion Ghana dollars. This is more than double what Guyana have received since the creation of its National Resource Fund in 2020. As of April, Guyana has received some $2.4 billion in profit, oil, and royalty from the Stabroek block operations. According to the 2022 financial for Exxon's subsidiary and operator for the block, Esso Exploration and Ghana Production Ghana Limited, EEPGL, it earned $577.7 billion in profits, a substantial increase over its 2021 earnings, totaling $132 billion. Hess Corporation's 2022 profit was listed as $322.7 billion, while CNOOC was $329.8 billion. Even though the contract is lopsided, the deal remains untouched as the government continues to approve more of Exxon's U.S. multi-million-dollar projects in the Stabroek block. In other news, Diamond Property Management, DBM, through its subsidiary Diamond Shorebase Incorporated, has applied to the Environmental Protection Agency for a permit to construct a dock facility at Friendship on the east bank of Demerara to provide covered and heavy marine loading depot for platform supply vessels that service the oil and gas industry. According to the project summary, the Friendship Port development will be located approximately 9 miles south of Georgetown and 15 miles north of the Cheddi Jackson International Airport. The private development is pegged at $25 million, with construction expected to be completed in 16 months. And with the meeting of the Public Accounts Committee suffering yet another cancellation owing to the absence of members of the ruling People's Progressive Party Civic, opposition members are calling for the government members of the committee to tender their resignation. Outlining his concerns, Chairman of the PAC and a Member of Parliament of the APNU AFC, German Figuera, called for the government's Chief Whip, Minister of Parliamentary Affairs Gail Teixeira, and the Minister of Public Works Juan Edgel to resign from the PAC for being absent consistently. Figuera noted that this is the 9th meeting of the PAC that had to be cancelled due to the absence of government representatives. The chair expressed disgust that all of the government members of the committee failed to show up for Monday's PAC. And just before we head to a short break, the engineer for the National Drainage and Irrigation Authority, which falls under the Ministry of Agriculture, has estimated that it would cost $145 million to guard the East Bank Demerara Water Conservancy. According to an advertisement published in Sunday's edition of the Kaieteur News, the ministry has invited eligible persons to bid for the contract. The contract is for the security and monitoring of the EDWC. The final date to submit bids is on June 15, 2023 at 9 hours. In March, Guyana secured funding from the World Bank to reduce flooding in Georgetown, including the EDWC. This is your main newscast on Kaieteur Radio. We will return with more news after the break. Stay with us.
Right now, children are at an increased risk of sexual abuse, and the perpetrator can be nearer than you think. So stay alert and be aware. Be aware of your neighbors. Be aware of your friends. Be aware of the people you have in your home. Do not become complacent. Protect children now. You can make a report to the police or call the CPA hotline on 227-0979.
A message from the Child Care and Protection Agency, Ministry of Human Services and Social Security, and UNICEF.
This is GHK Lal inviting you to join me weekdays from Monday to Friday on the National Outlook for commentary on a range of issues. Immediately after the 12 noon and 7 p.m. newscasts on Kaieteur Radio at 99.1 FM and 99.5 FM. Looking forward to you sharing in the conversation.
Welcome back. Thank you for joining us. A 67-year-old pedestrian was on Sunday night killed in an accident on the Monrepo Public Road, East Bank, Demerara. Dead is Montaz Ali of Monrepo North. The Guyana Police Force reported that Ali was killed around 21 hours 20. The police arrested a 48-year-old male of Helenia No. 1 Mahaica East Coast, Demerara, who was the driver of the motor car which was involved in the accident. Inquiries disclosed that the driver was proceeding east along the southern side of the northern carriageway at an alleged fast rate of speed of 70 km/h. The driver told the police that while driving he saw a male pushing his bicycle from south to north across the road in the path of his vehicle. A notice of intended has been served, and that should be a notice of intended prosecution has been served to the driver. An 18-year-old boy was on Saturday reportedly killed by one of his roommates at their Busby Dam Crane East Bank Demerara apartment. That should be Craig East Bank Demerara apartment. According to the police, Henry Williams, a laborer, was killed after he was involved in a fight with his roommate over a female. The teen shared the apartment with the suspect and 4 other persons. It was stated that around 19 hours on Saturday, a fight ensued between Williams and the suspect in the apartment, ending with them fighting on the dam. A neighbor told police that while he was bathing, the suspect came over and told him that Williams hanged himself. However, when the neighbor went to investigate, he discovered the teen lying motionless on the ground near some chicken pens. An alarm was raised and the suspect escaped into some bushes. Police said several persons in the area were questioned, but no useful information was gathered. And the search for 29-year-old Gavin Cox, a sailor of the Mazaruni River, ended on Sunday afternoon after his body was recovered in the vicinity of Riverview's village along the Essequibo River. Commander of Region 7, Dion Moore, said that the post-mortem examination has since conducted and determined that the sailor drowned and suffered blunt trauma. It was reported that Cox was a lone occupant in his boat when he was hit by a fiberglass boat operated by Mark Gonzalez at around 19 hours 45 on Thursday. In other news, a 57-year-old murder accused was freed on Monday after the magistrate upheld a no-case submission put forward by his attorney, Sarju Matadin. Sarju Matadin left the Fort Wellington Magistrates Court a free man after Magistrate Peter Hughes upheld a no-case submission made by the attorney, Marceline Bacchus. Matadin, a cash crop farmer of Bath on the west coast of Berbice, was among 3 other men accused of murdering overseas-based businessman Mohammed Raymond Hanif back in September 2020. Stay with us right here on Kaieteur Radio. We'll return shortly with your page 7 of the Kaieteur News. Today's page 7 of the Kaieteur News is dedicated, as that should be titled rather, School Cash Grants for Votes. The People's Progressive Party civic government has decided to distribute the school cash grant 3 months ahead of the usual time this year. This ploy is clearly aimed at buying citizens' votes for the local government elections. Most of the recipients of this grant will undoubtedly use the money to buy greens and groceries, and the real purpose of the grant, which is to purchase school supplies, will not be achieved. But the government does not care. The irony of the program, codenamed Because We Care. When a government can be so indecent that is willing to use cash grant for children as a vote buyer and the students and their parents as political props, then it is little wonder they are selling out our patrimony to the foreigners. And with that, we've come to the end of your main newscast on Kaieteur Radio 99.1 and 99.5 FM. My name is Joshua Van Slykeman. Have a great remainder to your Tuesday afternoon.
Want value for your advertising dollar? Then place your ads on Kaieteur Radio's newscasts. Streamed live on 6 different mediums, reaching hundreds of thousands. Advertise today and watch your dollar grow. Call us on 225-8465